So it's a summer afternoon, and you're laying in your hammock, and you get stung by a bee. What do? Do you look at your arm in pain? Do you cuss the bee out who's flying away, or do you take action? This speech will help people who have been stung by a bee and give them the steps on how to treat the sting. Living in Tennessee and living through the summers, it's very hot, very humid. We have about 4 months of summer. That means 4 months of bugs and could mean 4 months of bee stings. So it's very important to know what to do if you're stung by a bee. When I was little, I was running barefoot at my grandmother's house and I stepped on a bee. I lay there crying for about 5 minutes and she came out and rushed me inside and fixed me up, and she knew what to do immediately. Treating a bee sting can go 2 ways. If you're allergic to a bee sting, you might need medical attention, and if you're not allergic, it's not as serious. And finally, bee stings hurt whether you're allergic or not. The first step is to see if the stinger is still attached. If attached, remove with tweezers, fingernails, or my personal favorite, just your average fingernail clippers. Just get there right in the skin, just pull it out. It's going to be fine. According to the Mayo Clinic, once the stinger is removed, wash the sting with soap and water and put an ice compress in it. Another urban legend that there's out there is that you can just put your normal chewing tobacco on your bee sting. Just take a little pinch and put it on your arm. I've witnessed it firsthand. I was stung by a wasp and my uncle just took his dip out of his mouth and put it on my arm and it just stopped stinging. Now that we know what to do if not allergic to the reaction, I will inform you on what to do if you are allergic. Bee sting with an allergic reaction, if you're allergic to a bee sting and you get stung, it can be very serious. The Health Quiz report says symptoms of an allergic reaction are difficulty breathing, extreme dizziness, and nausea after the sting. If reaction is not life-threatening, the Health Quiz report suggests quickly consuming a large dose of chamomile, which is related to ragweed. But if you're allergic to ragweed, you need to skip this step. If chamomile does not stop the reaction, go to the nearest hospital. Now that we know what to do if stung by a bee, let's learn how painful a bee sting is. Depending on where you're stung will determine how bad it stings. Michael Smith did an experiment to see how painful a bee sting is. He was stung in over 25 body locations. Smith ranked the stings 1 to 10, 10 being the most painful and 1 being the least painful. The 3 least painful places on the body to get stung were the skull, middle toe, and upper arm, all scoring a 2.3. The 2 most least painful locations were the nostril and the upper lip, with a 9.0 and an 8.7. The study provides an index of how the painfulness of a honeybee sting varies depending on body location. Sorry. These few simple steps can help you deal with a pesky bee sting. I have described what to do if you have an allergic reaction and what to do if you don't have an allergic reaction. I have also informed you on how painful a bee sting is and where the most and least painful spots in the body to get stung are. If you find yourself with a bee sting, you can feel assured knowing that you know the proper steps to treat the sting whether you are allergic or not.